I am Jun. I recently attended the annual conference of ASHS at Las Vegas and gave an oral presentation there with the support of PB Systems Innovator's travel grant. So the annual conference of ASHS is a national scientific conference hosted by American Society of Horticulture Science, and they attract researchers of different fields all across the nation, and it has a pretty extensive reach. And I presented my research of effect of light quality on plant photosynthesis, and I feel really lucky to attend this conference and bring my research and finding to national attention. Particularly this year, I feel the conference is especially beneficial one for me. After 2 years of working in the controlled environmental agriculture, I got familiar with researchers and labs in my field so that I can trace their research philosophy, as in I know what their research interest is, and then see how they were trying to test their hypothesis in a controlled setting, and I can see how they were trying to translate what they saw in the well-controlled environment into the greenhouses where the actual commercial production takes place. And so when I'm listening to the talks, I can keep in mind where the broader picture is for their lab. So in this sense, I feel like I do benefit a lot more from the presentations. And it really started to come to me, the conference, this face-to-face form of communication is really effective to communicate science. And also, if my lab is sharing similar research interests with other labs, it's really easy for us to figure it out, and so we can work together to make sure our research can supplement and build upon each other. And in this way, conference is really helping to advance knowledge a lot more efficiently. And more than just effective, conference is also a very interactive experience. As I mentioned, I do research in the controlled environment agriculture, so we do spend a fair amount of time trying to get our environmental control system set up. We need to make sure our equipment and sensors are working properly, and that by itself can be really messy and tricky from time to time. Whenever I'm reading a paper coming out from one of the study, I see their well-organized data and their appropriate statistic analysis. All of them strongly support their conclusions. It's all beautiful and neat. But I only get to hear the messy part when I went to the conference and talked with the researcher face to face. I get to hear the story about how the researchers spent half a year trying to fix up the system and how a tiny leak just crashed the whole system down. And I got to hear the epic battle between the researcher and the water vapor in air. So all those funny stories I get to hear when I'm in the conference, and of course, I call them funny story. I can also see them as valuable experience. I get myself prepared for this problem before I run into it the hard way. But nevertheless, they're a funny story. That's another great thing about the conference. It actually brings people together. Like my lab have many collaborators at different universities, and only in the conference we got to see each other face to face. Although we do regularly post research updates so we know what each others are doing, and we do have monthly meetings, but it's more like business meeting. But in the conference, it's us graduate students who take the stage and showcase our study, and it's just great to get to know other collaborators in person. It's great to know what kind of person is behind the name on the paper, to get to know the person actually behind the tiny window in a web conference. So it was a great chance for me to networking. I talked with so many people, and there's still so many other people I want to talk to, but I guess I have to save it for a future conference. And aside from just research update and scientific talking, we also toured a commercial vegetable production facility where I can really see the challenges those companies are facing when they are trying to transfer into a fully automated production model, and when they are trying to incorporate more crop and species into their production model. So there's still a lot of issues remain to be addressed, and there's so many potential research could be done. And it just feels really nice to see how my research eventually fit back to the real world production. It's just a sense of accomplishment and gave me a better perspective of where my research should be lead up to eventually. So it has been a wonderful experience for me at 2019 ASHS conference, and I really enjoyed it. And thanks for watching, and check out my lab and other winners of PB Systems Innovators Travel Grant and their fascinating researches. So thank you.